Firstly, we want to thank you for coming to meet us today. It is an honor to be able to sit with you and talk to you today. My name is Kamra Hakim. I'm a junior at Arizona State University right now.
My name is Ted. I'm a senior at Loyola Marymount University. And as activists with the Win campaign, Kamra and I had the fortunate opportunity to travel to South Africa and Zambia, where we were able to witness the poverty, but also the people who are fighting against it. We have a view of Mandela as a person who was the Nobel Peace Prize winner, as a person who was the former president of South Africa, but in the movie he's portrayed as someone who's an anti-apartheid revolutionary. So how do you think we can learn from, our generation can learn from his early stages as a revolutionary in fighting against poverty?
Much like you two here, you made an individual effort to become part of the One campaign. It is that individual effort that I think young people could sort of single out in this film as something that they can do. He was 43 years old when he went to jail, so he had lived a full, good life. But he was only an activist for about 5-6 years, in truth. So from the first time he decided to be a revolutionary, a freedom fighter, to fight apartheid and join the ANC, to the time he went to jail, that was only about 6-7 years. That wasn't a long time. So I feel like, that small amount of individuality, changed the world. Even though they weren't ready to change the world then, and it turned out to be 27 years later, they decided to, you know what, Mandela was right. It was that little bit of individuality and effort had really spurred the world change into change the apartheid. So I'm hoping that, young people can go, you know what, actually, you know what, if it's just me or the two of you, we get together, we can actually sort of, like you say, mobilize some change.
I think today what we suffer from amongst the young is a sense of apathy. The sense that actually we can't do anything to change the world, so let's stay in and play video games and not really get out there and do something. And what Mandela shows is that as one man, you can enact incredible amounts of change. And it's really important that we all take a stand and get involved and become passionate about something, and
Absolutely.
really try and make a difference and impact our communities and hopefully the world, and we can all do that. And I think what's beautiful about the movie is that, particularly when we see him as a young man, as the revolutionary, is we see him that he's a flawed man. He's an everyman, he's human, like all of us.
As advocates, we were really inspired when Nelson Mandela said, like slavery and apartheid, poverty is not natural. It is man-made and can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of humans. And this is the idea of justice, not charity, is what started the One campaign. So our question for you is, what is your reaction to that quote, and what advice do you have for young people like ourselves who want to continue to fulfill Nelson Mandela's legacy?
Just having the desire to help and try to be of service. And I think, that's the wonderful also legacy of Mandela, that he was a man all about service. He sacrificed his family, his relationships, his life in order to serve his people, because it was for the greater good of all. So.
And how has playing this historical role as an individual, how has it affected you personally?
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
And I said this the other day at the screening for it, like we are filmmakers, but in certain films, the films start to make who you are.
Oh, wow,
and this is what's happening to me. As actors, we kind of get cocooned and we're sort of fluffed up and we're given all sorts of privileges. And it's literally about letting go of those habits a little bit and sort of focusing in on things that actually can make some change. But I'll be honest, Mandela was very, very patient and very sort of gracious, and made people feel comfortable all the time. And my parents always instilled that within me. But I realize again now, I actually can do a lot more of that. You know what I mean? Because of playing this man.